Good afternoon, everybody. I think you can hear me okay. So welcome to the sixth pre-conference workshop of Colombo Conference on Medical Education 2021. It's going to be an exciting session. We will be focusing on lifelong learning and reflection. And to do that, we need portfolios. And portfolios have been done in a printed format and in a manual format for long periods of time. Now we have come to an era where we can do it online using e-portfolios. So we have 4 experts to discuss and share their experiences while doing some hands-on experiences in this workshop. We have Dr. Dilmini Karunaratne, Dr. Ashwini de Abrew, Dr. Harith Chandrasekara, and Dr. Kaumadee Kodikara. So let me introduce all 4 resource persons together because they are going to conduct a combined session with few theoretical aspects and more demonstrations and experience sharing. So we know that several technical officers have been joined to the session today because they are supporting a lot in practically implementing e-portfolios. So you are very welcome to the session. And ඕනම ප්‍රශ්නයක් සිංහලෙන් අහන්න පුළුවන් අපි රිසෝස් පර්සන්ලා ඒකට උත්තර දෙයි. ඒ හින්දා ඕනම වෙලාවක අපි භාෂාව යූස් කරලා පාවිච්චි කරලා අපිට ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ හින්දා මට ප්‍රශ්න එවන්නත් පුළුවන් chat box එක පාවිච්චි කරලා එහෙම නැත්නම් රිසෝස් පර්සන්ස් ලගෙන් ඒ ප්‍රශ්න අහන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම හෙල්ත් මිනිස්ට්‍රි එකේ ටියුටර්ස්ලා ගොඩක් පිරිසක් ජොයින් ලා ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ටත් මේ e-portfolio ගැන මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් ඒ විදිහට අහන්න පුළුවන්. So we'll get on with the session proper by introducing the 4 speakers. First of all, our own Dilmini Karunaratne. She's a lecturer in medical education attached to my medical school here in Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya. And she's at the moment is on overseas training for her post-MD training period, and she's a lecturer in Hull and York Medical School, University of York, United Kingdom. You know that she's been here for in the field of medical education for a long period of time. She has a special interest in e-learning, and she was the main powerhouse in handling our e-learning platform and introducing various things, including staff development. So she's instrumental with a lot of resources regarding e-learning. So because of she has a lot of publications, she has done various research. Her main research area is clinical reasoning. Because of the time factor, I will introduce her as one of the greatest assets we have in medical education. And Ashwini de Abrew is the same. Dr. Ashwini de Abrew is a lecturer in medical education attached to our faculty at the moment, but she's originally from Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo. So she also completed her MD and she's awaiting foreign training. She's a senior registrar at the moment. She has done multiple things in medical education, multiple perspectives have been covered. She is now helping us in the development of e-portfolio using Mahara and various other things. So she has the vast experience in medical education, conducting workshop, writing papers, etc., etc. So she's going to be she's one of the best people to contribute to this workshop because she has hands-on experience in introducing Mahara e-portfolio to medical students in Kelaniya. And then we have two budding medical educationists, Kaumadee Kodikara, who has completed her certificate, and she's attached to my department in Ragama, and she has been contributing to the maintenance and staff development aspects of e-learning and learning management system, and also she involved in the introduction of Mahara e-portfolio to medical students in Ragama. And then we have the newest addition to my department, Dr. Harith Chandrasekara. Though he is the youngest, he's more energetic. He's into this matter, and he has developed his staff development portfolio by himself using Mahara, and he's spreading that he was helping and he was spreading the idea to colleagues as well. So he also got hands-on experience in the subject. So we have a team of experts to share their experiences, to clarify certain things, what can be done, what cannot be done, and all this will be discussed in this workshop. portfolio එකක් නැත්නම් portfolio එකක් online ක්‍රමයට කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක තමයි අද මේ වැඩමුළුවේ සාකච්ඡා කරන්නේ. ඒ ඕනම වෙලාවක ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න අවස්ථාව ලැබුණාම ඒ ප්‍රශ්න අහලා ඒවා निराකරණය කරගන්න අපි ඒක ඊටාම සුළු ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැත්නම් ඇසිය නොයුතු ප්‍රශ්නයක් විදියට හිතෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් මේ අපි හැමෝටම මේක හිතලා නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ හින්දා මේ ප්‍රශ්න අහලා තමන්ගේ තියෙන දේවල් ක්ලැරිෆයි කරගන්න නැත්නම් ඒ මොනවා හරි කුතුහලයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක निराකරණය කරගන්න. එතකොට මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකකින් උපරිම ප්‍රයෝජන ගන්න අපි හැම මෙඩිකල් ස්කූල් එකටම ඒ වගේම හෙල්ත් මිනිස්ට්‍රි එකේ තියෙන ස්කූල්ස් වලට අවස්ථාව ලැබේ. So බොහොම ස්තුතියි. Thank you very much. I'll hand over to Ashwini, I think, who's going to start the workshop by giving an introduction. So then I don't need to come in. You can shift the role among yourselves and conduct the workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Madhava, for that very kind introduction. And thank you to the college and the organizers of this conference, the Colombo Conference in Medical Education, for the opportunity to conduct this workshop. Can I be heard clearly?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to share my screen. Please let me know once it is visible to you.
Can see.
Right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to pre-conference workshop 6, where we will be discussing development of e-portfolios using Mahara. So the workshop objectives, what we want to achieve at the end of this workshop is for all of us to recognize the role of portfolios in undergraduate, postgraduate, and continuing professional development in the health sciences education, right? And to explore the use of e-portfolios in medical education and Mahara as an e-portfolio platform, to review the key features of Mahara and an actual practical session on developing an e-portfolio, so that it is a workshop and not a talk shop. So if I signpost this session, today's 1.5 hours, initially I will take a few minutes to talk about portfolios. Then Dr. Dilmini will speak about Mahara, introduce it, and speak about its unique features. And then Dr. Kaumadee and Dr. Harith will demonstrate and walk you through the development of an e-portfolio using Mahara. So before we go on to the main part of the workshop, right? I think it's important that we think about portfolios in medical education and health professions education. What are portfolios? Why are we doing this? Are we adding something, something bulky, something extra, something unnecessary, when there are other things we can do? So let's have a look, right? So if we look at how portfolios developed, right, there are a few hundred years of history of the use of portfolios in art and architecture, right? And when someone in the royal family wanted a picture drawn, right, they would ask the artists to come with their portfolios. And later on in the 19th century and the 20th century, assessment of students in art and architecture was based on their portfolios. Later on, this concept spread to the business sector, right, and the industry, where they would create portfolios of their products and their services, and it is to market themselves, to tell a customer, look, here, this is the quality of our product, this is how good we are, can you please hire me, right? So that is the background. And then later, right, in the late 1980s and the early 1990s, the concept came that we can use this for education in academic settings as a tool to demonstrate progress or to demonstrate achievement of outcomes. And the definition, therefore, sort of the working definition we have on academic portfolios is that a portfolio is a collection of evidence that learning has taken place, right? How are you going to prove to your teachers, your assessors, and your employers that you have actually achieved the required learning objectives or learning outcomes? So this material is brought into one place, right? So if we think of our learning material, right, we may have lecture notes in one place, we may read a journal article, right, and have the notes sort of maybe written on the margins. Maybe we attend a conference, right, and in the conference folder or the conference bag, there is more learning material. Certificates are somewhere else. So a portfolio brings all of it together. It encourages the learner to bring all of it together, and it is a record over time, right? What did you do in 2019, in 2020, in the midst of the COVID pandemic, right, and so on. And what is unique about portfolios, right? Now, this is not just a folder or a file that you keep in your bookshelf. And what is unique about portfolios is that it is based on reflective practice and reflective learning. I will come into that a little bit, right? And portfolios can be paper-based or electronic. So why? We have textbooks. We have PDFs of all these journal papers we want to read, right? Students have their learning material on LMS. Why are we going to have another item? We know that the knowledge available in medicine and health, that knowledge is doubling faster and faster as time passes. The amount of scientific information available is getting bigger and bigger, where it cannot be absorbed at one time by any one person, right? And there is no way we can give all of the knowledge needed to a medical student or a nursing student or another health profession student in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, because it might change. So we need our professionals, our health professions practitioners, to be self-directed learners. Right? So they have to learn how to keep on learning, and a portfolio is a way to make it very organized and in a way that it can be shown to another person that learning has taken place. It also has the advantage that you can use portfolios to assess attitudes and professionalism. You can link it to course outcomes, what is expected from the MBBS course or the NTS course or the physiotherapy course. And it can be used to assess real life performance, a record of the assessment, right? What happens in the wards or the field or in the clinics. Finally, it helps us all develop reflective ability, right? To reflect on our practice and to learn from it. One of the biggest advantages is that with a portfolio system in place, there is an opportunity for the tutors or the lecturers to give frequent feedback on performance. So portfolios have a lot of advantages compared to other teaching, learning, and assessment methods. This has been recognized, right? All over the world, North America, UK and Europe, Australia, South Africa, many countries are adopting portfolios in medical and health professions education. Are there any questions so far? I have spoken about the importance of portfolios. All right. So I think all of you are familiar with this. The Miller's pyramid, right? And when we add the other dimension of the competencies, knowledge, skills, and attitudes, this is known as the Miller's prism, right? So when we assess a student using the more commonly used methods like MCQs or SCQs, written exams, we can only measure knowledge or application. However, portfolios are the support for workplace-based learning, right? And it is a way that you can assess through direct observation and workplace-based assessment how the student is performing, student or the postgraduate trainee or even an experienced practitioner. You might think we are already doing this. We ask our students to maintain logbooks or casebooks of all the cases they see. However, the crucial difference is that portfolios have a reflective element where the student or the owner of the portfolio has to reflect on their learning. What is this reflective practice? Reflective learning. A reflection is what you see in a mirror, right? If you stand in front of a mirror or you look in a clear body of water like this, you see a reflection. So reflective practice is how learners can look at their behavior and see whether they can learn and do better in the future. It is systematic. Sometimes my students tell me, we do it anyway. We go home, I write on my diary. I go home, before I go to sleep, I think of everything I do. Well, that is what some people do. But in reflective practice, it is conscious and systematic. The learner thinks about one experience, right? Not everything that happened. So one is manageable, right? And they think, okay, how can I learn from it? So it is very focused, it's self-assessment, and think, okay, what did I do well? What did I do badly? What wasn't quite right? What were my weaknesses? How can I do differently? How can I improve? So this takes into account that more and more experience doesn't guarantee more and more learning. So I need to mention Professor Suki Ekaratna, who was at the Staff Development Center in Colombo. So when I said, oh, I have 5 years of experience, Prof asked me, do you have 5 years of experience? I think you have 1 year of experience repeated 5 times. And then got to thinking, okay, if I haven't learned anything, if I'm doing the same thing at the end of 5 years, there is no development. And that is where reflection comes in. Because when it is self-directed learning, you have to have reflection, right? consciously analyze your practice. So very briefly, I have given here the models, right? I'm not going to talk about them in detail, but if you search for the models for reflective practice, you will find a lot of literature on it. Right? And these are some of the more popular models. For health professions education, right, we tend to use Kolb's learning framework. Okay? And the reason we do that is that it's because it's based on adult learning theory. I'm sorry, I'll go to the questions a little later. That was automatic, right? So using Kolb's framework, which is fairly simple, right? The learner identifies an experience. When I was taking blood, I was doing venipuncture today, and it was difficult, right? It hurts the patient, and there was hematoma formation. Right? So now that is what happened. So then the patient feels bad, the student feels bad, and what the student can do, instead of passively feeling bad about it, they can actively learn from it. So they reflect. Why did this happen? What are the reasons? What should I do better? Right? So what should I do better is this abstract conceptualization. Big words, right? But it means a simple thing. That, okay, next time I need to see whether the blood vessels are clearly visible. Maybe I can look at a different site. Maybe I can ask someone more experienced for help. And then they do it, right? Experimentation. And they act on it and see, is the new experience any different? It might be different, it might not. And then the cycle continues as they try to improve themselves one little reflective step at a time. All right. So we talked about portfolios. We said it's a record, right? That learning has taken place. We said that there is a reflective component where the student is actually encouraged to write it down, to document it. So it's not only in the head, it's not only cerebral, there is motor activity also, and also it can be seen by a lecturer or a teacher or a facilitator who can help them improve. So there is no single way for a portfolio to look like. Each one of us has our own learning journey, right? It's like when you go on a tour, right? You might go to Dambadiva, or you might go on a tour to Europe, right? And there may be 20, 30, 40 people in the tour bus, right? So you sit on the same bus, you get down at the same place, you go to the same attractions, but the photographs that you take are all different, right? So the same learning experience is seen, same instance is seen and experienced by people in a different way. So portfolios are unique to each learner. Long time ago, our portfolios, so this is a student, then student at the Colombo faculty, we had paper-based portfolios, right, for certain activities and certain components. So you can see it's a large piece of paper. Kelaniya, I think, has become pioneers in using e-portfolios in for the medical undergraduates. So e-portfolios have been around since the late 1990s, early 2000s, right? And BMJ portfolio was one of the earliest, right? Anyone could log in and have a portfolio. It's very easy. It's electronic. it's there, it's stored in the server. You don't have to carry around a big file. Okay? And you can see that there's there are little tables. It's nicely structured. So whoever who is using it can write their reflection. And now in 2021, you cannot work in the UK without having a portfolio. So this example is from the College of Obstetricians, right? Every single trainee is required to have a training e-portfolio. And this is, it's a very basic site here. That is the e-portfolio site of the NHS, the National Health System of the UK, right? And their e-portfolio has 603,000 users, right? More than 8 million portfolio entries, because this is open to everyone, to the Royal College of Physicians. So that's a training center like our PGIM, right, that trains physicians. Then King's College London, so for the university sector, right, for nurses, for healthcare assistants, for midwives. This portfolio, this platform is there, and each NHS trust encourages the users to maintain their portfolios because they recognize, right, experience is not enough. People have to learn. Every year that they are with the NHS, people have to learn. Okay. So people learn. How is a portfolio assessed? So portfolio is assessed by looking at what the evidence is and whether the outcomes are achieved, right? So someone can say, well, we can do an MCQ, right? Have they achieved the outcomes? Or an SCQ or an OSCE? But the portfolio is also assessed on reflection. What the student has really thought about it and learned from that experience. In various places, right? Sometimes there can be a Viva component, right? Or it may be just assessing the portfolio and either a formative mark, right, or a summative mark is given. So finally, what is a portfolio, right? I hope everyone has an idea now that it is a collection of papers or other forms of evidence. And right now we are talking about electronic evidence that shows that learning has taken place, and there are reflections on what the user has learned from each experience. And this is linked to the learning outcomes. This is my final slide. This is a recent publication from academic medicine, right? And, although it is for medical students, it really applies to health profession students as well. And this is a useful single page summary, right? The academic medicine last page on what you need for successful implementation of a portfolio based system in your school. I'd like to acknowledge Professor Karunatilaka and Professor Ponnamperuma for the contents of some of these slides, and these are my references. Thank you so much, and I think we can take the questions towards the end of the session. I will now hand over to Dr. Dilmini to introduce the Mahara e-portfolio. Over to you.
Thank you, Ashwini. Will you be able to stop sharing the slides, Ashwini? A warm welcome to all of you for the session. I hope I can be heard and my screen seen.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yes. So thank you very much for joining today. So in our workshop, the topic for the workshop, developing e-portfolios using Mahara, and Ashwini gave an introduction to e-portfolios. So my task today is to introduce you to Mahara as an e-portfolio platform. And after this, there'll be a demonstration done by two of my colleagues, which is actually the essence of this workshop. But before that, we thought that it would be easier to do a brief introduction to Mahara so that you can easily grasp the things that is discussed in the demonstration after this session. So if I tell you a little bit about my experience in using an e-portfolio, actually it goes back about 3 to 4 years, where we first introduced an e-portfolio, the concept of the e-portfolio to our medical undergraduates at the Faculty of Medicine, Ragama. So at that time, we used the assignment option in the Moodle platform in our learning management system to be used as a e-portfolio submission point. So instead of developing paper-based portfolios, what students had to do was to develop a Word document and attach or add all the evidence of learning and then upload it to the learning management system as an assignment. So of course it was electronic in format, but to be honest, that was the only difference it had from a paper-based portfolio. And we knew that it needs to be something more, but at that time it was the easiest and the most feasible solution. So gradually at our faculty in Ragama, the different departments and strands became interested in introducing portfolios. So we at the medical education department realized the need to introduce or to have a common platform for students where they can collect evidence in one place and create e-portfolios to cater the needs of these different strands. And that is what really made us to search further, and we found Mahara. So that is about 1.5 years back. As you can see, we don't have a lot of experience with Mahara. We have experimented it for about 1.5 years. We have had trials and errors. We've learned through them, and we still continue to learn. But there's one important thing we learned is that we learned the potential of this platform. So this is a great platform that can cater the needs of students as well as educators in our endeavor to develop lifelong learners. So that's why we thought that we need to share this experience with you. And that is why we selected this topic to be discussed during this workshop. So in this session, the aim of this session is to enable you to consider the use of Mahara as an e-portfolio platform for personal and professional development. So I will be basically talking about 3 areas, about the origins of Mahara, its functionalities and the unique terminology in that platform, and about advantages and challenges of using Mahara. So if you have any questions, please do add to the chat box. So we will be taking them all at the end of the session. So Mahara, the name Mahara actually for us may feel very familiar, but its origin is in New Zealand in year 2006. So this is, it is a result of an open source project. And it's really interesting to know how the name has derived what is the meaning. So the word Mahara, it comes from the language of the indigenous people of New Zealand, the Maori people. In Maori language, it means to think. And then the symbol they use for Mahara, as you can see in front of the word Mahara, that symbol is also a Maori symbol, and it says that it represents a strong connection, a link between people and lifelong learning journey. So it seems that the name Mahara and the symbol all are ideal to be used for a e-portfolio platform. So in addition, Mahara is a free open source platform. That means it is not a commercial software. Anybody can actually download it from the web, install it and use, customize the way they want. But generally, this is done by organizations and institutions because the installation process needs some technical expertise. But that does not really exclude anybody trying to do it on their own if you are competent in handling technology. And it is a learner-centered personal learning environment, which is much more different compared to a learning management system, which is controlled by the institution and the teachers. So in Mahara, the students or the learner is the sole control of that platform. They can collect evidence, share evidence, and only the people that they share, they give access to can have a look. Otherwise, they have the control of everything inside the platform. And this is very different to a learning management system, as you can understand, because in a learning management system, there is a structure. It follows the structure of the curriculum. The content is made by the teachers, and they create the assignments, they create the content, they share it with students. So this is totally the opposite of that. And Mahara as a platform can be used standalone as an e-learning platform alone, or if there is a learning management system in an institution, it can be integrated to many of the currently available learning management systems. And Mahara Platform, as it is an open source platform, a number of organizations, individuals, they contribute to developing it, and it continues to evolve and develop. And generally about 2 updates are released per year. So the users actually needs to make sure that their platforms are up to date to make sure all the support is available. So this is the demonstration site of Mahara. If you go to this URL, the demo.mahara.org, you can see this. This is actually the general homepage of a e-portfolio platform. There are 3 main links that give access to creating different things within the platform. At the very start or at the home page, there is a login block, as you can see at the top right-hand corner, where you can add your details, username, password to enter. And then there's another block, this links and resources block, where you have access to different resources, particularly this Mahara user manual, which is very important, and to the Mahara community, where you can see the forums, the recent updates, information about that as well. So this is the University of Kelaniya Mahara homepage. As you can see, the Mahara platform, the homepage can be customized to the needs of the institution. So once you log in, you can see your name displayed and with the picture of yours. And this is the Mahara homepage in the web, mahara.org. You can see here at the very top, there are different links to download Mahara, or to the demonstration site, or to the Mahara community, the forums. All the resources that you need to work or need to know when working with Mahara can be found here. So that is all about the basic background to Mahara. Then let's have a quick look at the functionalities of Mahara Platform and the terminology. So what is Mahara? So it is a platform where the individuals or our learners can collect evidence. So this evidence can be any form. It can be text, it can be PDF files, any file format, PowerPoints that you create, or any multimedia material like videos, audios, animations, and maybe you can scan any documents, certificates of attendance, CPDs, if you need. So you can collect anything in this platform. And like in our computers, you can create folders and organize this content or the evidence as well. And then you can curate this content. So for example, the content that you collect within the platform, not all the content you will need to reflect on your practice, or you will need to select the most relevant ones for your e-portfolio entries. So that also you can do. So you can collect content and you can select from these content and use what is appropriate for your learning and for your e-learning, e-portfolio entries. And there is a special option there. There is a reflective journal available in the Mahara platform where you can create where you can reflect and write your reflections. You can do it in a daily basis, weekly basis, after any significant events. That all depends on you. But there is space, a dedicated space for you to note down your reflections and think about it and learn through it. And irrespective of these being assessed, actually, nobody have access to whatever the work that you do within the platform unless you share it. So generally within the Mahara platform, the users get one reflective journal, but if you need, you can increase it up to around 20. And so these reflection journals that you maintain within the Mahara platform, if you need, you can incorporate this into a e-portfolio entry you create. You can incorporate the entire journal or selected journal entries even. And then once you collect these evidence and the reflections, you can combine these, reflect on this, and create your e-portfolio entries within the platform. In addition, once you create these e-portfolio entries or even the evidence, you can actually share them with others. It can be your peers, the teachers, or anybody outside. You can create a link and share it to anyone, even across, anyone outside the organization, across the globe. And you can create groups and use it for collaborative work. And again, once you share these e-portfolio entries or anything that you create within the platform, you can use to get comments or feedback from your peers, your teachers, or anybody else that you would like to. And if you need to use this for assessment, actually you can integrate the Mahara platform with a learning management system. There is a special Mahara plugin to install if it is Moodle, which we have done in our faculty. And you can use the same gradebook available in the learning management system to grade these entries, or the entries, the e-portfolio entries that you create, that the students create and submit for assessment. So as you can see, the concept of e-portfolios or the portfolios directly aligns with the functionalities of the Mahara platform. It's not like an assessment. It gives the opportunity for the students to collect the evidence as and when they want, along a long period of time, and allows them to reflect whenever they want and collect these different kinds of elements into one place and create their reflections and their learning journeys, which they want to share with others and demonstrate their learning. So basically, in summary, the basic functions of the Mahara platform are, as we discussed, it allows to collect evidence, and these are reusable learning objects because they can be used at multiple places in multiple reflective entries. So in Mahara terminology, the evidence that we collect within the platform is called artifacts. So these artifacts can be images, multimedia material, text files, anything that we discussed. And it allows to organize the content in folders and build e-portfolio entries. And these are called pages in the Mahara platform. And sometimes you may create a number of e-portfolio entries and collect them together to create one e-portfolio. So in the Mahara terminology, an e-portfolio having a number of e-portfolio entries is termed collection. And there is the possibility to have a reflection journal, like a diary to reflect, and you can share content with others, work in groups, and get feedback and comments, and it can be used as an assessment for assessment as well. And there's another important thing that you can do is that is to develop an interesting resume, where there is options to add your personal details about the education, employment, and your interests, the research areas that you are working on, and about your goals, personal goals, academic goals, professional goals. It is very structured and very interesting, and is something that you can use. And if you want, you can share this with others, with potential employers if you need, or even if you want, you can integrate this into a e-portfolio entry. So that is about the basic functionalities of Mahara. So let's quickly have a look at the advantages and challenges of using Mahara. So I would say the greatest advantage is this transition from a paper-based portfolio to something like a web page, an electronic portfolio. You can see this is more interesting, more engaging. You can have any sort of multimedia material embedded with it. And this is actually a whole new experience. The process of creating an e-portfolio is significantly different from creating a paper-based portfolio. So this is one of the major advantages. And in addition, as we discussed, it is a learner-centered platform. It enables collection of multimedia materials, share it, showcase learning with anybody across the globe. So it's very accessible and portable. You can receive feedback, and it can be integrated to a learning management system if you want. And also, finally, there is this use that one of the possible innovative uses of using Mahara is you can use it for digital storytelling. That can be a possibility. This is a concept, actually a new concept coming in the medical education field, digital storytelling, where you actually, the students can use multimedia materials instead or in addition to text to show their learning journeys. So students who are not very well conversant in the language, or who like to express their learning or demonstrate showcase their learning in different ways using other media rather than text, in addition to text, actually can use the Mahara platform to do that. So it is something that we can explore with our students if it allows our needs as well as educators. So the challenges of using Mahara, so these are two very important challenges, although it is less in number. You can see introducing a e-portfolio platform or any platform in that way is very challenging. There is a learning curve associated with that. So students need to be trained and supported, and this cannot be a one-off activity. We need to make sure that the support is provided throughout. A mechanism should be in place. And when it comes to teachers, it is also the same. Teacher training and support is essential. And in addition, we need to make sure that teachers understand the basic principles behind e-portfolios, what we are trying to achieve. Because sometimes if we are going to use e-portfolios in a formative way to give feedback to our students, then we may need a lot of commitment from teachers as well. So they need to understand this, the principles behind it, why we are going to introduce it, what is our expectations of introducing it. And in addition, administrative and technical support is very important, because e-portfolio platform like Mahara need to be installed in a server, a reliable server, and if there are updates that needs to be done, it has to be properly integrated to a learning management system. And when there are errors, they have to be troubleshooted, bugs fixed. So there's a lot of support that we need from the technical team and the administrative team. So that is also very important to have a very functional e-learning platform like Mahara. So those are basically the areas that I wanted to discuss with you. So we talked about the origins of Mahara, the basic functionalities that we can do with Mahara platform and the terminology it uses, and finally the advantages and challenges. And I would like to end this session with two student comments I have received after I introduced this Mahara platform about 1.5 years back. This is following our first introduction to Mahara. So what I did was I asked the students to reflect on that session and write a small reflection and share it with me through the Mahara platform so that I can give them some comments. So I thought that this will help them to practice in the platform and to see how they can interact with the teacher. So surprisingly, actually, almost all of them send their reflections, and I selected two to show you today because I think this gives us the opportunity to see how students actually see the use of e-portfolios for their learning. So I will read this out, these two comments for you. So there's one comment is, this student is saying, this is the second portfolio which I came across in my university life. This is a good experience rather than using typical papers and books for a portfolio. When I first heard the name Mahara, I did not expect this kind of a platform. It is really interesting that we have come to another level in our education using technology. So this is another comment. What I really appreciate about Mahara is that it allows students to control which items and what information others see. The audience I wish to give access to my views can be added as individuals or as a member of a group or community. So with that, I will conclude this session. Thank you very much for your patience listening. If you have any questions later on, even you can contact me through this email. And if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can add to the chat box. We will take it at the end of the session. So with this, I invite Dr. Kaumadee and Dr. Harith to continue with the demonstration. But before that, if you would like, we can take a short break of 10 minutes. That is if you like. So let me know whether you would like to take a 10 minutes break or whether you would like to continue it with the demonstration. Thank you very much.
We'll take a break for about 5 minutes. Shall we restart at 2 o'clock then?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yes, we will do that. Then we will take a 5 minutes break and come back. Thank you very much.
Welcome back after that welcome wellness break. Shall we start, Kaumadee?
Yes, sir. Harith, over to you first.
Yes, I'll start first. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Mahara Chandrasekara, for the kind introduction at the beginning. And thank you very much, Dr. Dilmini and Dr. Ashwini, for their comprehensive explanation about portfolio, e-portfolio, and about Mahara website. So here onwards, I would like to do a small demonstration about how this Mahara website works and what are the options available, and how a developed e-portfolio looks like, and how to submit a portfolio into a submission platform. So before starting the session, I would like to have a friendly discussion with you all. So you can use either chat box, so you can unmute yourself and speak with me. So my first question will be, have you ever maintained a paper-based portfolio before?
Sorry, what did you say? Paper-based or what? Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Have you ever maintained a paper-based portfolio before?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
ඊට කලින් පෝර්ට්ෆෝලියෝ එකක් පාවිච්චි කරලා තියනවාද මේ paper based format එකෙන් නැත්නම් printed format එකෙන් පාවිච්චි කරලා තියනවාද? ඩොක්ටර් හරිත් කැමති ඒ වගේ experience එකක් තියනවාද කියලා දැනගන්න මේ සහභාගී වෙලා ඉන්න එකෙන්. ඒකට support කරලා ඒ වගේ process එකකට support කරලා තියනවාද? මොකද මම ගොඩක් technical staff එකත් අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ලොකු support එකක් දෙනවා ඒ වගේ portfolio කරගෙන යද්දී. සමහර අය පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනවා මම හිතන්නේ.
Yes, I can see some yeses and some nos. So I want to ask from those who have maintained a portfolio. So for how many years did you maintain your portfolio? කොච්චර කාලයකට ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ portfolio එක ඔයාලා maintain කරලා තියෙනවද? අවුරුදු කීයකට වගේ? Two years, 1 year each. Okay, thank you very much. So the next question will be, approximately how many pages were there in your portfolio? ඔයාලගේ paper based portfolio එකේ කොච්චර නිකන් rough ගානක් කියන්න කොච්චර වගේ pages වගේක් තිබ්බද portfolio එකේ? $70 pages, yes. Others? $200 including lectures, 500, yes. It's bulky, right? So 40 to 50 years. Okay. Thank you. So my last question will be, have you faced any difficulties during maintaining your portfolio during submission? ඔයාලට මොනවා හරි ප්‍රශ්න ඇති වුණාද මේ paper based portfolio එකක් maintain කරගෙන යනකොට හරි submit කරද්දී හරි? Yes, managing annexures, sorting into chapters. There are difficulties. So thank you very much all. So after the discussion, so I would like to show you my e-portfolio, which I have developed for a staff development course few months back. Let me share my screen. So this is the e-portfolio. This is the Mahara platform, and this is the e-portfolio which I have developed few months back for staff development course. So you can see there are portfolio entry 10, portfolio entry 12. So there were 12 entries for the portfolio. So for each entry, I have created a separate folder to collect my evidence. So this is portfolio entry 10, portfolio entry 12. At the bottom, you can see portfolio entry 1, entry 3, such as there are 12 entries in this in my portfolio. So I'll show you one portfolio entry. So this is, I mean, at the bottom, you can see portfolio entry 1. So in this folder, at the bottom, you can see there's a icon, I mean, a page icon with number 3. So it shows how many pages are there in this particular folder. So portfolio entry 1 has 3 pages. And when I go to the top, you can see portfolio entry 10 has 4 pages. Portfolio entry 12 has 2 pages. So it shows how many pages are there inside a particular portfolio entry. So if I go to portfolio entry 1, you can interrupt me at any time if I'm fast, or if I want to if you want any clarification, just interrupt me at any time, so I'll clarify for you all. So when I go to portfolio entry 1, so this is the page 1 of portfolio entry 1. So you can see the page 1 is all about descriptive account on overview of higher education institutes. So I have created several blocks. So this left-hand corner block shows history of higher education institutes in Sri Lanka, and the right side block shows University of Kelaniya image, and the right bottom block shows academic and organizational structure of University of Kelaniya. So this is page 1, and I'll show you the page 2. And this is the SWOT analysis of University of Kelaniya as a 21st century higher education institute. So I have created 4 blocks for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And at the bottom, I have created a separate block for references, which I have read for this SWOT analysis. And the next page will be about the self-reflection on higher education legislations and higher education system in Sri Lanka. So this is a 300-word self-reflection which I have done by myself. So this is the portfolio entry 1. So as an example, I wanted to show you how a portfolio, how a portfolio entry will looks in this Mahara website, Mahara platform. So if I go to portfolio, that is portfolio entry 1. So if I go to portfolio entry 3, so it is a brief descriptive account about the equity, diversity policy, gender policy, and green practices in University of Kelaniya. So you can see here I have created blocks in a different way. So I have created 3 blocks. So first block shows the situation of equity and diversity policy in University of Kelaniya. The second one shows the situation of gender policy, and the third one shows the situation of green practices policy. So this is page 1, and this is page 2. It's again about a SWOT analysis, and the references are at below. And the third one is the self-reflection on learning about equity, diversity, gender, and green practices. So this is again a 300-word self-reflection. So I'll move on to the last entry because it will take more time if I go one by one. So this is the last portfolio entry. It has 2 pages, portfolio entry 12. So if I go to portfolio entry 12, it is a SWOT analysis of internal environment of the department. So this is my SWOT analysis. And at the end, I have created a block to plan to overcome identified weaknesses. So you can see I have submitted this e-portfolio into our Moodle platform. So those who are reviewing, they can put comments also here. So you can see at the bottom, my reviewer has put a comment also to improve myself. And the second page is, so at the end of the portfolio, we are supposed to attach our references. So these are the references I have used to develop my portfolio. So there are about 20 to 25 references. So you can see how easy and how user-friendly this Mahara platform is in developing your portfolio. So you can add pictures, you can add blogs wherever you want, and you can submit it to a relevant submission platform. So I'll show you where I have submitted this submitted my portfolio into our Moodle platform. So this is our sorry. So this is our Kelaniya University Moodle platform, and there's a separate section for staff development program. So in the staff development program, these are the reading materials we have referred during our staff development course. So for each module, there are learning material. So at the end of the learning materials, you can see there's a section for e-portfolio submission. So you can see for each portfolio entry, there are yes, I got a question. I'll answer that at the end of this demonstration. So you can see there's a separate section for e-portfolio submission, and for portfolio entry 1, there's a separate section. Portfolio entry 2, likewise. For 12 portfolio entries, there are separate sections. So if I click portfolio entry 1, you can see every detail: submission status, it is submitted for grading, grading status not graded, and assignment submitted, date, and which entry I have submitted into this relevant section. And if I have comments, even here also comments will appear. And even after submission, I can edit or remove my submission before the deadline. So this is how the Mahara platform and submission platform looks like. So I got a question, and it asked that is it possible to rename the title portfolio? Yes, you can. You will come across at the later on, Dr. Kaumadee will show you how to develop a page and develop pages and collections. So there you will see you can rename your rename the title. Another question: artifacts are included or not into your portfolio? Yes, artifacts are something like the attachments. The attachments you are going to attach into your portfolio. So you can attach images, you can attach even links. If you have if you have videos, you can attach them. So those are called artifacts. So you can attach artifacts here. So I'll show you. So this is how my portfolio looks like, and how it is going to submit into a submission system. So this e-portfolio account is created just to develop my staff development course portfolio. So I'll show you my original Kelaniya original Kelaniya Mahara account. So this is my original Mahara account. So now I'm going to show you what are the options available in Mahara platform in developing your e-portfolio. So you can, I think most of you all are not having Mahara accounts at this moment. So as Dr. Dilmini mentioned earlier, you can use Mahara demo site to practice yourself. you can practice, you can make mistakes, you can do whatever you want at Mahara demo site, but I mean, they will, and the Mahara demo site will get reset after 24 hours. So whatever you have done will be gone in 24 hours. So you use Mahara demo site to practice yourself. And once you have your proper Mahara account, you can develop your portfolio. So I'll show you what are the options available. So you can use Mahara demo site to log in there, and you can follow me. Otherwise, you can just watch what I am doing, and later you can practice by yourself. So for those who want to follow me, so you can go to Mahara demo site by using demo.mahara.org. I hope you can access there. So after accessing, you will come to this page. So you can use either of these usernames and use Mahara demo, this password, to log into a temporary demo account. So I will use student as the username and the Mahara demo as the password here. So if you log in, you will come to this temporary site, temporary demo account, where you can do, you can practice yourself. So I'll go to my original account again. So this is my original account. So once you log in, this is the first page you will come across. So this is called the dashboard, because the dashboard means the essential items are there in this page. So you can see there's an option to develop your portfolio, create, and there's an option to share your portfolio. There's an option to engage people in your portfolio. And at the top corner, you can see the profile picture with your name, and you can see the people who are online for last 10 minutes. And you when you go below, you can see latest changes you can view, and the inbox, topics that you are following, watch pages, and your portfolio entries. So this is about the dashboard. So this is, this page has essential options to develop your portfolio. So first, let me start from the top right corner. This in this green section, you go to the top right corner. So there are several options available. So the first option will be choose language. So it is in English, so you don't need to change anything. The next option will be notifications or inbox. So if you click inbox, you will get whatever notification you got. So if so if you have any notification, it will come to this notification section. So the third option will be, you can see with my profile picture, and there's a downward arrow. So that is account menu. So this Mahara website, this Mahara e-portfolio system, you can use it as a social network. So you can develop your professional account here, and you can add people, but in a professional way, not like other social networks such as Facebook, Instagram. So you can develop your professional professional account here. So this account, when you go to account menu, when you click this downward arrow, you will have certain options to update your profile pictures, settings, and logout. So if you go to profile, and you can see you can update your profile here. So you can see my profile picture, and you can see the first name. You can edit your first name, you can edit your last name. If you are a student, you can give your student ID, and you can give the display name, how you want to display your name in your account. And if you can do a brief introduction about yourself, and at the end, don't forget to save. And the next, in the profile, that's about me. And when you go to contact information, so you can add your email addresses, your official website addresses, your postal address, your town, city, country, and if you have any phone numbers, you can update here. So you can do that under contact information. So if you have any other social media, you can update here. And general information such as occupation, industry, you can include them here. So that's how you are going to update your profile. So when you go to the next option in the account menu, that is profile pictures. So same as other social media. So you can see my current profile picture. So even you can upload new profile pictures from your laptop or your phone. So you can choose file, you can upload it here, and you can select your profile picture by giving default option. So your profile picture will be set, and the next option will be settings, and the next option will be logout. So after account menu, the next option, the rightmost option, will be the main menu. That is the most important thing in developing your portfolio, because almost all options are there in developing your portfolio. So if you click the main menu, there are 5 options. One is dashboard, the second one is create, the third one is share, fourth one is engage, and the last one is manage. So if you click the dashboard, that will take you to the first page that I have shown you, the dashboard. Okay. So the next option will be create. So you can see again a downward arrow in this create option. So if you click that downward arrow, there are again certain options. So you can see pages and collections, files, journals, notes, plans, resume, and many more. So the most important thing in developing your e-portfolio is pages and collection. So if you go to pages and collection, if you click pages and collection, this is where you will come. So if you haven't developed any pages or collections, this page will be empty. Since I have certain pages and collections, you can see there are again certain folders. So you may wonder, what is a page and what is a collection? So I think you all are familiar with Microsoft Word. So page is something like a Microsoft Word document. So if you open a new Word document, it will be empty. It will be an empty document. Likewise, if you create a new page, the new page will be empty. So you can do whatever modifications inside that new page. You can create blogs, you can type, you can add pictures, you can add links, you can add references. Whatever modification can be done in the page, same as in a Word document. So remember, page is something like a Word document. You can do whatever thing under that page. And collection is something like a folder. So if you create a new folder, it would be empty. Likewise, if you create a collection, it would be empty. So you can add pages into collection. So similarly, you can add Word documents into a folder. So the folder will be, folder will have certain number of Word documents. Likewise, you can add pages into a collection. So if you add pages, so this is, this, you can see the PDFM strand is a collection. So at the bottom of that folder, you can see number 6. So that means this folder or this collection is having 6 pages. So let's see whether there are 6 pages. So if I get PDFM strand, so this is the first page. This is about me. The second page will be reflection on moral and ethical dilemma. The third page will be reflection on leadership and teamwork activity. The fourth page will be reflection on developing emotional intelligence. Fifth page will be discussion, and the sixth one will be documentary evidence. So you can see there are 6 pages in that collection. So I think you got an idea about a page and a collection. Dr. Kaumadee will demonstrate you how to develop a page and a collection. But now, for now, you get familiar with this terminology and the options available in Mahara website. So page is something like a Word document, and collection is something like a folder. So in a folder or in a collection, at the bottom it will show how many pages are there inside PDF, inside the collection. So in the main menu, the next option will be files. So this file option is there as somebody has asked to add artifacts, to add images, pictures. Now a portfolio is something like, it's a collection of your own work. So you should show that you have work. So to prove, you should have evidence. So you should have, and as evidence, you can add images, pictures, any attachments like letters, files, whatever. You should have evidence. So to upload evidence, this file option is there. So here you can either choose files from your laptop or your phone or tablet or whatever electronic equipment. So you can choose files there and you can upload here, or you can directly drag and drop files here. So if you upload your files here, so you can see in this page it will appear as this. So I have certain images, certain folders. So you can see I have uploaded some of the files, images, or some of the artifacts here. So that's, the file option is there to upload your file and upload your artifacts. And later when you are developing your portfolio, you can simply attach them by selecting from this file section. And the next option will be journals. I haven't created any, but you can create your own journal by using this option, and you can share in your Mahara website. That is not mandatory to developing your portfolio. The next option will be notes. So same as notes in your smartphones and laptops. So if you have any notes, you can add them here, and later you can refer. And the next option will be plans, same as previous one, same as what you have got in your smartphones and laptops. If you have any plans, you can add them here, and it will give a reminder. So the next option will be resume. So resume is something like a short CV, something, a summary about yourself. So you can upload, you can update your resume here, and later you can update it. Time to time you can update it. So the first one will be introduction. So you can see personal information is there. You can update them here. And then the next one will be education and employment history. So if you have any education history and employment history, you can add them here. And the achievements, I mean, any publications, any professional memberships, any certificates, any awards, you can add them here with evidence. And goals and skills, personal goals, academic goals, career goals, personal skills. So you can update here. And the last one will be interests. So if you have any interests in certain areas, you can update, I mean, you can upload them here. So that is how you are going to update your resume. So that is all about create option. So the next one will be share. Sharing is there. So you can create your portfolio and you can share it to your reviewers or your peers to review, to have some comments. So with comments, you can modify your portfolio. That's why this share option is there. You can share your portfolio and friends, somebody can share his or her portfolio with you for review, or to get an idea on developing a portfolio. So the first one will be shared by me. So if you click shared by me, it shows pages and collection which you have shared with others. So you can see the collections. Here you can see the collections. Here you can see the pages that I have shared with others. I have got two questions. One, two. Can we create several creations within main creation like folders? I think you are asking, you can create a collection within a collection. Am I right? For the question, I can say you can't create any, you can create any collection within one collection. That means you can create subfolders within the main folder. You can add whatever pages, you can add whatever pages you have into one collection, but within the collection you can't create any sub collections. I think I have answered the question. If it's confusing, you can ask me again. And can you share it with people outside the University of Kelaniya network? Yes, sir. You can share. You can simply search the people, search the person you want and share it with others. I'll just show you. So here, sir, there's edit access, so you can share. You can select the option here, person, and you can search the person you want and share with others, or you can make it public, sir. Yes. So let me go to the where I have stopped. So it's the share option. So this is the place, shared by me. This is the portfolio entries which I have shared with others. These are the pages which I have shared with others. And the next one will be shared with me. So if you click this, it will show you the portfolio entries, so the collections or pages which others have shared with me. So you can see there are 4 entries which are shared with me. So the first one is shared by Dr. Kaumadee. It's a reflection on communication skills. The next one is introduction. The next one is PDF strand. So for the PDF strand, I have given a comment. So likewise, if somebody has shared with you, so you can review his or her portfolio, and you can add comments. So for the PDF strand, I commented. I couldn't review the next the first two ones. I'll go through and see whether there are any modifications are needed. So that's all about share. Next one will be Is Mahara website can be used as a social network. So here, similarly in other social networks, you can add people for your easiness. So if you add people, if you are going to share your portfolio with those people, it would be easy. So I would not go into details. So you can you can add people, you can create groups, you can create discussion groups. So there are several options. Just to complete my demonstration, I'll go to this people option. So since I'm a member in University of Kelaniya, it will give me suggestions. It will give me suggestions those who are in University of Kelaniya. So like similarly in other social networks, you can send friend requests, you can send messages, you can either if you want to add somebody who is not in your institution, you can search here, search the person you want and send a friend request, send messages. You can do those things also, but that is not relevant. That is not mandatory in developing your portfolio. Just to complete my demonstration, I showed you. And the last option will be manage. This is again important because once you have created your portfolio, you can download it as a zip folder and you can send it to somebody else. And you can, by import option, you can upload somebody's portfolio into your account and see. Now you may wonder, now portfolio is something, something that is your own work, something that shows you shows your own work. So why do you want to send your portfolio to somebody else, and why do you want to upload somebody's portfolio into your Mahara account? So I think these options are there. Now at the beginning I told you that if there's you can create your portfolio, and if there's a submission platform, you can directly upload your portfolio into that submission platform. If not, if the submission platform is not there, you can directly download your portfolio as a zip folder. You can send to your reviewer, and reviewer can review your portfolio by using that zip folder. And the next thing will be, now if you are an academy, if you want to introduce a portfolio into your students, and if you have a specific structure on developing this portfolio, so you can create a structure in your Mahara account. You can download it and you can send to students and tell this portfolio should be created using this structure. So to send some structure, you can use this export option. So I'll show you how to export something, how to export an e-portfolio from your Mahara account. So if you click export, it will ask, what do you want to export? Is it all of your data, just some of your pages, or some of your collection? So I'll click some of my collection. So suppose now we have, our department has created and we have created a certain structure for the PDF strand portfolio. So now I want to export it and I want to send it to students to develop their portfolio using this structure. So I click export and I mark just some of my collections, and it will give the collections that you are having, and I picked only PDF and span. Okay. Then I am going to export this PDF and span portfolio. Now it's being created, and you can see the zip folder is downloading here. Now the zip folder is downloaded. So now suppose I have sent this to a student, and student got the zip folder, and before uploading into his or her Mahara account, he should extract this zip folder. So I'll show you. So this zip folder is in the download section. So I want to extract this zip folder. So I'll select extract all, then extract. So you can see the extracted folder. So you can see this extracted folder. So this is the extracted folder. There are two folders and a leap2a file. So this leap2a file is the most important thing in importing this portfolio into another account. Once you have extracted, you will get this folder, and inside this folder there are two folders, HTML and export info. Those are not relevant, but the leap2a file is the most important thing in importing another one's portfolio into your account. So now I'm going to import this PDF strand portfolio into another account. So I'll use my other account to upload this. So I'm going to my other account which I have used during staff development course. So this is my other account. So you can see only the portfolio entries are there. No PDFM collection is there. So I'm going to import PDFM collection into my account. So you go to main menu, you click manage, you go to import section, and import section it will ask to upload the leap2a file. That's why I said leap2a file is the most important thing. So you choose file from the area, we'll go to downloads. I don't know whether you can see. Yes, you go to downloads, you click this folder, and in this folder there's leap2a file, and you open it and you click import. So after importing, it will show the pages that collection is having. So it shows the 6 pages about me, discussion, documentary evidence, reflection of pivot emotion intelligence, so on and so forth. So even from these 6 pages, I can select what are the pages that I want to import. So I need these 6 pages. So it is marked as add new. If you want to ignore one of the pages, you can click just ignore. Since I want these 6 pages, all 6 pages, I am going to click add new in all 6 pages, and I'm going to import it. So if you click import, your portfolio was imported successfully. So let's see whether it's imported. You go to create pages and collections, and you can see now the PDF and span collection is there. early it was not there. After importing, PDF strand collection is there. So we'll see whether there are 6 pages. You go to PDF strand, okay, page 1 is there, page 2 is there, page 3 is there, page 4 is there, page 5 is there, and the last page also there. So you can use this structure to develop your the portfolio. So that is how you are going to export and import your portfolio. So that's all I wanted to share with you all. So next, Dr. Kaumadee will show you how to create a page and a collection. And if you have any queries, just put it in the chat. I'll look into it and answer at the end of the session. So, so over to you, Dr. Kaumadee.
Thank you, Harith. All right, excellent. So thank you for making my job very easy. So in the remaining time, the better part of it I will use to take you stepwise through how to develop your portfolio, and then it will be the Q&A session. Let me share my screen first. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. So as everybody showed you, this is my dashboard page. Now I'm going to jump straight to developing your portfolio. So you can do it 2 ways. You can either go to the create here in your dashboard page, or you could go to the main menu and go to this create option. Whichever the way you use, that is fine. So I'll just go through the main menu because most of the options are there. So it will be easier for you to follow. Right, so when I clicked on the main menu under create, I can see the option pages and collections. If I click on it, this is where I come to. Now, as Dr. Harith told you, for your e-portfolio, you have to create pages, or you have to create the content or the entries and develop a collection. Now, as you do with, your day-to-day work, you can either create the folder first and add the pages later or the documents later, or you can develop your documents first and you can create a folder later. Whichever way is fine. So I will show you first how to create a page. Now, before we go to that, you can see there are a few pages here. Profile page. This is reflection on patient encounter, reflection on communication skills, introduction. So these are pages. A dashboard page, these are pages. PDF and strand is a collection. Why I say so is because you can see there are a lot of pages and it says there are 6 pages here, right? All right, so we'll first, so let's assume that I'm going to create an e-portfolio for our clinical skills strand. Now, since I'm a lecturer at the Faculty of Medicine, University of Kelaniya, and we are hoping to introduce e-portfolios to the clinical skills strand as well, let me just pretend that I'm doing one right now, right? So now this is the clinical skills strand e-portfolio. I gave it the name. If you want, you can give a description. It is not really mandatory to do so. And so these things you don't really have to bother much about it. But one thing I want to note to you is that you can add a cover image, like a picture or something to the front, very first page. And then you go and edit collection pages. So you just save it. When you save it, you get something like this. for the moment, I don't want you to worry about this page, but we'll go to our pages and collections. Right. Now you can see I have created the clinical skills strand collection, but it has no pages. Now what I'm going to do is to show you how to create pages to be included into this collection called the clinical skills strand e-portfolio. Now, how you create a page is just the same as I created a collection. You go to the add here. I suppose you can see this. When you click on it, you have the option either to create a collection or a page. And since I want to create a page, that is what I'm going to click on. When you click on page, it will ask you to give a title, describe the page, what you're going to do about it and all that. So let's just say this is the introduction page. Introduction page of your clinical skills strand portfolio. You can give a description if you want. Don't have to worry about it. Now this is the page called the introduction, but you can see here that there's no place that you can type. There's nothing that you can do here. For you to like type or do anything with this page at all, you have to create something called a block. A block is, let me show you first. I suppose you could see right below the main menu, there is this cross that says drag to add a new block. You can drag it or you can click on it. When you click on that, you get this box which says the position of the block, or you can change these things later, but just you can add a block. Right. When you do click on add a block, you get to this place where it asks you to tell you what it is. Now let's say introduction is the page, and first bit of information I want to put there is personal information. So then you have to think what is the type of content that is going to be included in this said block. Are you going to write about it? Will it be a picture of yourself? Will there be anything that you want to download as files and show here? Or is it a folder? And there are lots of options like that. Is it an image gallery, or do you want to embed a video or an audio here? Is it a PDF? Dr. Harith showed you the option of journal or journal entry. If you have created a journal, if you have entries, you can, add those here as well. And there are lots of options. You can go through these later. So let's say this is personal information. I want to write about myself. I will click on text. So here I get the block content. That is, I'm writing about myself. You can write now or you can write later, and you can do all sorts of things here. You can change the font size, you can block, italics, you can insert images, you can insert links, you can do a lot of things that you do with the word here as well. And you can just go and save this. One thing I want to just tell you about is, we talked about the structured portfolio, where you have specific instructions given for the students, like these are the things that you have to write. If you are an academic or a tutor and you are developing a structure for the students, you can use this instructions place to give the students instructions about what are the things that you have to write here. If not, you can just, if I'm just developing my own portfolio, I don't need to bother about the instruction part of it. But if I am, let's say I'm a tutor and I want my students to include I'm just writing, don't bother about this, but then, you know, I can write it like that as well. And if I save, you can see this block here. Now, this is something that you can work with. Earlier, it was just a very black document. There's nothing you could do about it. But once you add the block, you can do things with it. You can write, you can, you know, upload files, do whatever. Now, since I did give some instructions, you can see the instructions here. But if not, if you ignore the part instruction, that is fine. You won't see anything here. But what I have typed is for you to see. Now, I can, as I showed you here, you can configure the blocks. You can place it differently. As Dr. Harith showed you, there were blocks, you know, arranged to make it more appealing. So those things you can work on later. I will add another. Now, this is the introduction about yourself. This is first block is personal information. I will, just to show you, I will add another block. So when I do add a block, I go to this cross here and I add a block. Now this is about, all right, academic qualifications. Academic qualifications. Now, if you want to write about it, fine, you do that. If you want to, you know, put, you know, attach certificates or whatever, you can click that. But let's say just, you know, you're not exactly sure what type of content you are going to put here, but you know, this block needs to be there for you to fill up later. You can just ignore this part. You don't have to select it right now, but you can just save it. You can later, you can go on and select the type of content that you want to add there. And, you know, because it reminds you, please configure this block to choose its type, that you can at a later date or when you're free or when you know what you want to write there, type of content that goes there, you click on the settings and you choose the type of content that will go. Let's say I want to put a PDF and you save. So you can, yeah. So this is basically what a page would look like. So now I have created one page. Now on your right side, you can see under the block, there are settings. This is the display page, whether I want to share this page, and this is return to pages and collections. Now settings is for you to change the look of the page. So introduction, if this is the introduction I want to keep the title as it is, fine. But if I want to give a page description, let's say blah, 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 blah. So those you can write. Okay, so introduction page I have created, and I have created 2 blocks here, and this is the page that I have developed so far. Now, if you display page, it will show you how this page will look like in your portfolio. So this is the page title. Now the description is, it has these information, and these are the blocks. Even this, if you click on this pencil, you can edit. All right. If now sharing access, of course, Dr. Harith spoke to at length with you. You can share it with people either using this platform here. You can just type the name, or you can export it as a zip file for somebody to email to. Whichever the way you choose, you can share it with other people. Now, this is go back to pages and collections. You can click here to go back to pages and collections, and now you will be able to see that I have a page called introduction, and the page description is here. Right. I hope developing a page and a collection is clear to you. If not, if I'm too fast, do let me know, so I'll slow down a little bit. And if there's something that you don't understand, you can ask, or you can chat box it. I'll answer to you, right? Okay, so far we have created the clinical skills strand collection and one page. Now let's see how I add pages to this collection. Now this collection called the clinical skills strand portfolio has no pages, 0 pages. How do I add pages to the collection? Is by clicking on these 3 dots. When you click on these 3 dots, it gives you 3 options, either to manage, edit, or delete. To add pages to it, I click on the manage option. When I click on the manage option, you will come to a view like this, where on your left-hand side of the page, it lays down all the pages that you have created. Oh, I have 2 introduction pages. And on your right side, it shows you the number of pages and the pages that I have already in this collection. In this case, there are no pages. So let me just click. You can either select all or none, or if you have a lot of pages and you need to like think through what needs to go to this specific collection, you can go by one. I will just take introduction, reflection on communication skills, reflection on patient encounter, and I click on this add pages. When I click on this add pages option, those pages will go to the collection called the clinical skills strand. Now there are 3 pages. With these arrows, I can, move around, up and down, the order to which the pages will appear within a Z collection. So if I want the reflection on patient encounter to go up, I will click on that and it will go up. I want the introduction to be there as the first page, patient encounter second, communication skills third. Now that is how you add pages to your collection or your portfolio. Right. Now this is, now if I click on this, if I want to go to this clinical skills strand portfolio, I click on it. When I do, it is the first page that appears to you first. It shows you clinical skills strand is the name of the portfolio or the collection, and introduction is the page. Now I have laid down 2 blocks to add to later on: personal information, academic qualifications. You can add any number of blocks you want. I think it answers to the question that was said earlier about creating folders within folders, but you can add a lot of blocks within a single page, and there is no really, you can keep on adding, you can structure it any way you want. So if it helps, I suppose it would answer a little bit to a certain extent to your question. Now this is the first page. You are on page 1 out of 3. This has 3 pages. I want to go to the second page. I move around with this arrow, and this is my second page. I have not developed a block here, that is why it is blank, but I need to edit it. If I'll show you just edit it. You click on this pen here and say I haven't added any blocks here. It's empty. So I need to add blocks here to do anything at all with it. Otherwise, it will just be an empty blank sheet. And third page is reflection on communication skills. I have added one block here, describe your experience, and I need to keep on adding blocks. If you're following the Kolb cycle, as Dr. Ashwini said, you have to, you can add all the subheadings and make it appear nice and appealing. You can do a lot of things with it. Now that is the portfolio. One interesting thing I want to show you about is, we talked a little bit about comments, is you can add comments here about your portfolio. If you're sending this to your supervisor to go through and advise, or if you're sending it for reviewer, if there's anything that you need to write, you can write it here. And you can just go and save it. Add comment, comment, and comment. So when you do that, you will get an email notification that if I have commented it and shared it with my supervisor, and if he comments back on it, I get an email notification saying what the comment was. So that is an added benefit in using this. You get immediate feedback. All right. So that's pretty much it. I hope it's clear how to make a page and a collection, because that is pretty much more or less what you have to do to create your portfolio. And then you can, go ahead, like all the other options that Dr. Harith went through about, files, journals, resume, all these things you can add as content when you are developing a blog. I will show you just here. So if I want to click on a blog, so I have selected text here, we will not go there. If I click on academic qualifications, I have clicked here, file. See, you can choose files. There are lots of things that you can do. And as I showed you before, you can add any of the content you have developed already in this Mahara site, or which is in your laptop or tablet or wherever. You can just upload it. It doesn't matter where it is, but it will be good to have it in your file section of the Mahara site, but not really mandatory. So these are the options that main menu also had. Journal entry, you can upload the entire journal, or you can just put a separate journal entry. So those things you can use to include in your blogs. Modal settings of Mahara, right? Could you please show us modal settings of Mahara? Sure. All right. So Moodle is, when you have an LMS, it is integrated. Mahara is integrated to your LMS. So we have and we can create a assignment or something, and the students can submit to it. Can you see my screen, the LMS part of it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Right, so here we have uploaded the structure of the e-portfolio to students. Now, if I come here as a student and click on it, it will download as a zip file. Then I have to import it to my Mahara site so that I can go through it. But you can create, like if you are a teacher, you can create an assignment and ask the students to submit it to submit your a portfolio entry or the entire portfolio to your site. So it has this, you can just ask the student, like, I haven't created an assignment here, but if you give this option Mahara portfolio, or if you just, it could just be a file, you can just add it, and if the students go to that place, they can just, submit it at one go. You don't have to import, export, or share. You don't have to bother about it. Even the Mahara, the entire Mahara portfolio, they can upload it using that that option. I hope that answers my question. I think since we are 3:12, I think we'll, that is all that I have to show you really with regards to developing your portfolio. We'll go to Q&A.
So thank you very much, Kaumadee, for that introduction and demonstration. So we have a number of questions I saw in the chat, and I have taken note of it. Shall I go through that? So if we can answer them as you feel, who can answer those questions?
Yes, Dilmini, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
So the first,
I think the first, can I disturb you for a minute?
Yes.
I think Prof. Prashant was asking a question about the language proficiency, whether it affects the outcome of the portfolio. You can start with that question if that is okay with you.
Yes. So, sir, that is, I think, a very important question, and I think it is not only relevant for e-portfolios or Mahara, it is relevant for any portfolio in that matter. But as I discussed in my presentation about digital storytelling, that is something coming up in the medical education field, whether there's possibility for the students to use other media to showcase their learning apart from text. So the students who can express themselves using different media, say art, or a presentation or a video clip, creating those things instead of writing their reflections, whether it can be used in that way. So that's a solution we can offer in an e-learning platform, which is not possible in a paper-based format. But of course, using digital storytelling as a solution, we as educators, as an institution, needs to come discuss it further, come to an agreement, how to assess these things, if we are going to assess it, of course, that we need to discuss further. But in a formative way, those things I think can be easily used to give feedback to students. I think that is what I feel about that question. I hope it answers your question in some way, although it is not the perfect solution, sir.
Yeah, in addition, Dilmini, I think when we use the version of the portfolio, rather than, let's say, if somebody is struggling with writing, in academic writing, they can upload a video with reflection, right? If they are fluent with spoken English, they can do that, or else they can use many other ways of showing their reflective ability. Otherwise, they just have to write in a printed version. So e-platform, I think on a e-platform, we have multiple ways of helping students. In addition, I think as Harith just demonstrated, we can give some sort of framework or a template, so they don't have to write over and over again or write lengthy essays. We can restrict them to write very few sentences about reflection. So if it's just a matter of demonstrating the reflective ability and lifelong learning, so we can introduce certain things. So I think on e-platform, we have more options than the printed version. Thank you.
Yes.
Dilmini.
Yes, that is true. I totally agree with that. That is also where I stand, sir. So I think it gives some answer to your question. So if you go to one of the questions in the chat box, there was a question about reflective writing, how frequently we should do it, whether it's daily, weekly, or after a unit. Anybody would like to answer that question? Maybe Ashwini have something to add there.
Right. Thanks, Dr. Dilmini. Yes, so it really depends on the purpose of the portfolio. For example, if it is for personal development, then it can be as often as you like, really. Maybe after a critical learning event, a clinical encounter where you feel that the reflective writing will be beneficial and will improve your learning process. For students, what I find is that undergraduates need a more structured portfolio. They will benefit from being told how often or for which learning events they should write a reflection. So the faculty can state an expectation that it may be 5 per semester, or 2 per module, or 2 per clinical rotation, and so on. Postgraduates benefit from less structure and being able to explore their learning opportunities. However, there must be some guidance given about the learning expectations. For example, after maybe a 360-degree assessment evaluation, or maybe after a practical skills learning session or a new session, they can be encouraged to reflect and plan further action for their portfolio. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, thank you, Ashwini. So the next question is, can we rename a title? Of course, I think you can do that. Both Harith and Kaumadee showed it how to rename it. That can be done quite easily. So the next question, can a collection can be created within a collection? Dr. Harith answered that question. If you have further queries, please add to the chat, or please unmute yourself and ask any question you have. So can the portfolios be shared outside the organization? Is there anything to add there, Harith or Kaumadee?
Yes, sir. So you can share it with people outside university. If you can't find them in the share option that Dr. Harith showed you, you can always download it as a zip file and email it to anybody you want. But they do need the Mahara site to read it. So they need to log into the mahara.org, either demo site or your own account, for you to be able to view what is being developed in the Mahara e-portfolio. But of course, you can share it with anybody you want.
Yes, and if I add to that, there is another option, I think, in the same page where you can generate a secret URL. It's a URL that you can actually copy that URL and paste it in an email and share it with anybody. So in that way also, anybody, you can share it with anybody outside the organization who doesn't have the access to the ePortfolio platform even, because when they click that link, they'll be directly taken to your entry, but they will not be able to see anything else in the platform. So, but your purpose can be done in that way by creating a secret URL and sharing it through an email to anybody else, in any country, even outside your organization. So there's another question about plagiarism. Can plagiarism be checked within Mahara? So as far as I know, until now, there is no option as such to check plagiarism in Mahara, because I think the strength of Mahara is not really for using it for assessment. It is to encourage reflection, students to reflect on their learning and develop their learning plans. That is the main strength of using Mahara. But if you if you have concerns on plagiarism, of course, what you can do is, if it is integrated to a learning management system and the plagiarism plugin is available in that system, then of course you can use the learning management system as shown, demonstrated earlier, to check the plagiarism within the learning management system, as you can do it for other submissions. Is there anything else to add there? I think that is what we all think. And there's another question about adding blocks. Is it only one block, or can we add many blocks to one portfolio entry? Harith, can you, or Kaumadee, can you explain it a little bit more?
Yes, madam. Actually, for one block, we can add one type of content, but for a page, we can add we can use many blocks as we want. So actually, for a block, you can either use a text or a picture or whatever the options they are having, but you can use one content per block. But you can use several, you can use many number of blocks per page.
Okay. Thank you, Harith. And there is another question by Dr. Aruni. Actually, two people have asked about it, whether we can match the content with the learning outcomes, whether that is facilitated by the Moodle platform. Yes, it is. We actually demonstrated the basic things that you can do to have a good start to using the platform. So when you go to creating a page, you will see there is option Smart Evidence Framework. You can enable that. Then in the Smart Evidence Framework, there are inbuilt frameworks within the platform where you can choose, or you can actually create your own. So when you have that Smart Evidence Framework enabled, you will get a table with columns and rows. In the columns, you will have the framework outcomes, which you can match with your learning outcomes set for your ePortfolio. So that can be done. So if you go to the platform and have a look around it, maybe you go to the demonstration site and have a look around it, you will see that this can be done. And there was a question about Moodle settings. Kaumadee showed how to import it when the link is given in Moodle or a learning management system. So if I would add to that, now a learning management system does not really come integrated to a platform like Mahara. You have to specifically integrated. So the technical, a group of technical people need to attend to that and integrate it to a learning management system. In our case, it is integrated to our learning management system based on Moodle. So there is a ePortfolio plugin, Mahara plugin, that has to be installed to Mahara. So when it is done, in addition to what Kaumadee showed, when you are creating an assignment in Mahara, when you create an assignment, there is an option to enable Mahara assignments. So when you click that and you create your assignment as the usual way you do it, students will be able to upload their assignment or upload their portfolio through the Mahara platform to the assignments created in the Moodle or in your learning management system. So that is basically by enabling the Mahara plugin within the learning management system. So and there's another question, URL, can it be used to send e-portfolios to your examiners and supervisors for correction? That can be done. It can be used similarly as through the platform where you can share it with anybody and they can comment on it. Even if you create a secret URL and share it, they will have the access to your the reflections or the portfolio entry you have created, and they'll be able to give comments or feedback. But if you are planning to assess it through a learning management system, of course, you have to submit to a learning management system or assignment created in the learning management system. So those are the questions we have up to now. If there are any more questions or if you need more clarifications, please do ask us. So there's another question about the key challenges that we faced introducing e-portfolios. So I would start it, and I think Kaumadee, Harith, and Ashwini can add to that. So when we started it about 1.5 years back, it was very challenging for us because nobody knew about it. There was nobody having experience. So it was a very good opportunity for us to explore and the technical staff at the University of Kelaniya helped us integrating it to the Moodle platform. So it was a steep learning curve at the beginning, but then once we have to really go through the manual and see how these things happen, and we had to practice on our own to see how this, actually how we can use this. So once we actually, got familiarized with the platform, we were set to go, but there were issues in the integration. We had errors in the integration with the Moodle platform, and those had to be corrected. So those are small things that issues we had, and we still continue to learn. And we had number of training sessions for staff and students. And we understand that support or training need to be continued. So those are the key challenges I have seen. In addition, anything else, Kaumadee or Harith, Ashwini, to add to that?
I think one of the challenges is sort of getting both the teaching staff and the students motivated, because even within a stream or a module, there will be the cheerleaders who are very for this and who see the benefit, and the others who are still skeptical, which is perfectly all right, because everything has to be contextualized. to the curriculum, to the needs of the student and the students and the resources available and so on. So there needs to be a constant multi-way communication with all stakeholders to make sure that even as a pilot project, right, or even if you wish to implement it for a small component of your curriculum, that communication needs to be there to ensure that things work well.
Yes, thank you, Ashwini.
I think it's 3:30, so the official will make it a official closure to this session. But if there are more questions, you can always, I think we can put the email addresses of the resource person, if that is okay, in the chat box, please. Then if somebody is interested, they can contact the resource persons directly and get their things sorted out. So I thank you very much, all the resource persons who contributed immensely to this workshop, and all the participants who got the maximum out of it. I hope you got a fair idea about e-portfolio and how to use e-platform for portfolio process. And we wish you all the best for implementing these portfolios in your own faculties and in own universities. Thank you very much.
Can the 4 speakers just stay for a moment until the end?
Sure. Okay.
for the speakers, I'll be creating a breakout room. Maybe we can convene there.
Yeah, okay.